Welcome to Automechanika Frankfurt 2016. I'm I'm your VASA editor, and I'm here to learn about what's coming up next in automotive air conditioning. ABL Dightest is one such company that is moving forward into R744 CO2 equipment for servicing vehicles using that new refrigerant. At the moment it's just Mercedes-Benz, but rumour has it that Volkswagen is well on the way to launching its own systems using R744. Over here we've got a machine that's obviously attracting a lot of interest. Every time I come and try and photograph this machine, there are people standing around and talking, so I think it's a bit of a big deal. But they're not the only people who've got one of those machines. Texa have one as well, and not generating so much buzz as the other one, standing here on its own, is their R744 servicing machine. And like the ABL one, approved and recommended by Mercedes-Benz, who are the first people so far to introduce that gas. We have a large range of servicing machines, all-in-ones. That one's for 2 gases. Interestingly, the Texa guys asked me questions about the hydrocarbon refrigerant use in Australia. They said that they had machines sent back to them because customers have been using them to recover hydrocarbons without realising it. Of course, a lot of people using hydrocarbons don't label the system, so that makes it pretty much impossible to know what's in there without a refrigerant identifier.
Hall 8 was also full of tyre changing equipment, scan tools, tool cases, you name it. For the workshop, it was there.
Brainbee, they have a pretty interesting range of products in terms of air conditioning, including couplers that are claimed to reduce the amount of refrigerant leakage caused when you're unhooking your gauges and so on. And if you're into tools, and what person isn't, there's a pretty big selection here. There's some pretty serious hoists over here, and look, there's a Unimog up on a hoist. You wouldn't want that thing to come crashing down in your workshop, would you? Now, in the trade press stand area, I have found something that you might find familiar. Among all the trade journals from around the world, here is the latest edition of Sightglass News with a front cover all about the recent Future Gas Seminar Series Roadshow. As news, you might have seen the man on the filter. It's a Frisch's Plus filter, which is claimed to get rid of allergens and nasty bacteria from your cabin through the filter. So they've got a really big stand here. This really cements their impact on the industry and their size. Here they have on display the Frisch's Plus filters and the other 2 types of filter, which is the carbon and the common or garden cabin filter, otherwise known as pollen filter. They actually come in a really nice box. It's a funny kind of consumer style box for a mechanical spare part, I suppose, and it's because the box contains a lot of information about why these filters are good, and it's a talking point for the person at the workshop, the mechanic, or the person on the desk to explain to them why they should spend more money on a cabin filter and why they need a cabin filter replacement in the first place. So just exploring a bit more of this huge, absolutely huge show where there are more than 4,000 exhibitors. It's absolutely bewildering and quite exhausting. The Valeo truck, which is a huge display they've got here outside in the courtyard. In here they've got quite a bit of interesting stuff with regards to air conditioning. What they've done a real good job is these cutaway vehicles showing all the Valeo components that get used. It's surprising actually how far and how deep these things go. I was just talking to Man Hummel about the Precious Plus filters, but the polyphenol technology used in those filters was actually invented by Valeo, and they've got their filters here on display as well. As you can see, they've got the nice packaging as well, consumer-friendly packaging for their cabin filters, just like the Man Hummel Precious Plus. It looks like that's where Man Hummel got their idea from in the first place. In the Valeo truck, there was this cutaway of an air conditioning system showing the different phases of refrigerant through vapour and liquid. It was really interesting to look at. They had cut away the entire system so you could even see inside the blower fan. Using a thermal imaging camera, the Valeo representative poured even deeper into the air conditioning system. They could even look at the electrical circuits in there using the same machine. It's the Nissan's stand. Now they're not very well known in Australia. They sell a few engine radiators and things like that, but they're quite big when it comes to air conditioning as well. And they do some really, really impressive training. This is a 4th generation family-owned company based in Denmark. There's some really, really comprehensive air conditioning training produced by Nissan's. It's very, very slick. The presentations are beautifully turned out. And the amount of information in there goes from basics through specialist and expert. And the way it's all able to flick between sections, if there's a question that comes up during a presentation, the trainer can just then flick back to the right section and visually explain the answer to the question. Well, here's a video showing the workings of the compressor, in case you've ever wondered what goes on inside. Highly detailed diagrams. Really impressive stuff. Now, something that really caught my eye was this display they've got over here, which it's almost like, looks like lasers. You can see me reflected in the back of this mirror here too. Look at that, isn't that sensational? And they've got a lot of different air conditioning components on display here. Got a few compressors. And these huge truck components here. And then these are more passenger car style components as well, and engine cooling as well, because that's what they're bigger in Australia. Which I'm here on the eve of the EAAC, which is the European Automotive Air Conditioning Congress, where we're going to learn a bit more about R744 CO2 air conditioning systems. I understand there's going to be a Mercedes S-Class there with a CO2 system in it that we will see people working on and showing you how to service one of those systems. Hopefully to learn a bit more about the layout of those systems, because at the moment they're a bit of a mystery. Like I said before, 4,000 plus exhibitors here. You'd never do it in a day. I've been here since about 10 AM. and I think I'm going to need a new pair of shoes, if not a new pair of feet, for the amount of walking I've been doing around this enormous, bewilderingly huge exhibition here in Frankfurt, Germany. It's been great sharing it with you.